Hey, what's going on? Disillusioned here. Yeah, I'm kind of just going down the road here in Cali right now, and I just kind of thought of a topic that I kind of wanted to bring to your attention. And it's about self-expression. And as a trucker, it's crazy. I feel that you get to, even though you live inside of a box, you can really think outside the box in terms of yourself and who you are and what you perceive yourself as and what you would like others to perceive you as. Um, you know, One form of expression that we're not going to talk about, obviously, is well, you could make things, you could dress your truck up in chrome and all that good stuff. And we're not going to talk about that today. What we're talking about is just some self expression things that are pretty unique to the trucking world. And the obvious one, just right off the bat, would be, maybe you wanted to, get a piercing or a tattoo, and being a trucker, we can literally we can look how we want to look. It doesn't really matter, within reason, obviously. But I mean, if you're just one of those types of people who one have always wanted to express themselves artistically, you have that opportunity to do so as a truck driver. Uh, Other things we can include it would just be, regular hobbies. There's a lot of hobbies you could actually do on this truck. One is, obviously YouTube, what I'm doing right now. But I mean, there's a lot of other, video editing and collages you can make just for yourself personally. You don't have to get on here and make a video for the whole world to see anything. It all can just be for you. My girlfriend here on the truck, she actually paints rocks. Yeah, she'll find these really smooth rocks you see, and I don't know if you ever known this, but there actually is like I think there's an Instagram group or a Facebook group that they have decorated rocks and with their signatures. And if you ever see just a painted rock in the distance at a truck stop or just in the middle of nowhere, you'll know now where those come from. Just truckers painting rocks, going, in their spare time and after they finish their shift. Other things include, one thing I can think of. Also, my girlfriend, she also plays the ukulele or just starting to learn. I myself picked up the guitar, and I'm starting to learn that. And it's just, and you can do that with any musical instrument. Well, maybe not the drums or something like that, but or a tuba, something that could actually really fit in the truck. Although a tuba could fit in the truck, it would be probably too much of a hassle to keep moving it around from the bed to the passenger seat every time you wanted to do something. But if you think about it for a second, you got 11 hours of driving. You got nothing to do when you get off. I mean, honestly, as you've been going down the road for several hours, I mean, you might get a little bit burnt out on your music and your talk shows and podcasts and documentaries or whatever your fix, storybooks. It might be just a good escape from all that, since you're consuming content while you're driving, that you would just be the creator at that point. And there's lots of programs to help you learn instruments and stuff like that. There's apps. I mean, there's some paid apps as well that are really good. Right now, I'm using like Musician. You can learn the guitar, the bass, the ukulele. I think a piano too. I don't know if you can get a piano really on a truck either. That'd be another one of those instruments you really couldn't do. But I mean, if you're teaming, you're with your girl, or like you're a trainer or something like that, obviously you can't get something too big. But that's what I was saying, like a ukulele or a guitar or a flute or something that's just, different. And what's really cool about the guitar is you can actually get some nice headphones for your amp. And my amp's tucked away behind the bed, so you can't see any. All you have to do is pull up the cords and plug it in. I have an electric one. You can have an acoustic as well. There's also an electric acoustic guitar, but you have headphones as well, and you use that to play along. Like I said, the program that I use, Musician, It's kind of like Guitar Hero, but for like a real guitar. So you follow around along and play, and even with the headset, you can hit the notes, and as long as you're plugged into the phone with the headphones, it will record the notes that you're playing, even though it doesn't physically or doesn't really actually catch it out of the air anymore. It's pretty interesting. Other things would you can just sit there and do would be, have you ever thought about maybe writing a novel? You literally could probably sit back there and come up with some. I mean, honestly, when you're driving, I mean, like I said, you could probably get a little bit bored of the stuff you're listening to, or you can take the stuff you're listening to as some, inspiration, and you can apply that to a story that maybe hasn't been told, or add your new twist, add a twist to it, and you can sit back there and just write small stories, and maybe one day you've come up with a big complex idea like Game of Thrones style, and just go to town and start making drawing pictures. That's another one right there. You can sit there and learn how to draw, and there's just a lot of different ways you can kind of express yourself on this truck. A lot of different things you can do that, maybe, I mean, I guess a lot of normal people could do these things, but it's just when you're done with work, usually on the truck, you're either showering, you're eating, and then you're pretty much all downtime from there. You're not really doing anything, or unless you're going to play on your phone. And I'm just giving you a hint that maybe, since you're listening to your phone all day and attached to the hip with your electronic device. But maybe you'll put that down for a couple of hours and learn a new skill, or put your mind to something different and creative. You never know what could happen. I mean, what happens if you thought of a couple novels going down the road, and you make a couple of rough drafts of a book? And yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe we're not all English majors here, but I mean, you could, if I remember correctly, because I think I looked into this a little bit, it would only take, 1 to 3 grand. I mean, we're talking about someone that's really good at editing and pulling out all your errors and all that good stuff from your novel to make sure everything is the wording is correct and everything. I mean, honestly, you can grab the, well, I'm sure you've seen the commercials on, if you watch other, YouTube videos or something like that. I think it's called Grammarly or something. Grammarly will help you make sure you sit there and use the correct spelling and the sentence structure. And what I like about programs like that as well is, if you do use a program like that, you can pull up synonyms and acronyms and stuff like that. So make sure you're not saying the same word over and over and over again, and it'll help you be descriptive. So definitely, if you were writing like a book or something, I could see you just getting like, just a cheapo laptop or something, and putting that software in there and going to town. When you first start, though, I mean, just doodling in, ideas of where all your characters came from, what they look like, and all that stuff. Make sure you have all those descriptive and personality traits all wrapped up. So whenever you start writing the story, you literally know what they look like. It's almost like you've taken a picture of them, and you just glance at the picture every time you need to be reminded of what this character is and what they're all about. I mean, there's just a lot of things you could do in your downtime to make sure that you're making, some headway, some self progress, and like I said, to be able to express yourself artistically. There's no need to sit here and, like we said, we're making good money out here. We're pushing it to the limit, and during our downtime, I mean, if you want to relax, that's fine too. I'm just giving the idea. Maybe you could do something else. There's lots of stuff you can do in the back of that sleeper. While some of our stuff may be limited because we don't own an entire house, there are a lot of ideas and things that you can come up with that will work. And like I said, how cool would it be if your book, became a bestseller, or you got really really good at guitar or an instrument, and was able to go and live out your musical rock star dream. That'd be pretty insane. But and there's a lot of cool other things you can do, songwriting and other stuff you can do that's musical, or within the musical realm. Like I said, I touched on just regular hobbies like the rock thing and writing and drawing and wow, I mean, you could be painting. I mean, there's just it's endless. There's just so much you can do when you're sitting back there. I mean, I could think of maybe sewing or weaving, and there's just there's just a lot of ideas out there that you really don't need much to start. I mean, just a trip to your local Hobby Lobby or a Walmart. I would, you know what, and I would definitely take a trip down to the Hobby Lobby or something like that to see what hobbies could actually get on this truck. I mean, spitting out just a few more before I kind of cut this off. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I had a whole model set. Absolutely loved it. You get the little model paints and you can build things and it's just it's really cool what you can do. And especially if you're kind of an inventive kind of mind, why not sit here and research patents that have been introduced and see if you can come up with your own invention. All the money you're making out here and all the money you're saving, right? That you could maybe contact a manufacturer and give them some specs and maybe you can make a prototype of something. Shoot, go on Shark Tank. Try to make some real money, you know? There's just, you have a lot of time to sit here and I know I went over in another video of what you need to be doing when you save your money and possible things you're doing outside the truck. And like I said, trucking is totally respectable and you can make a lot of money in trucking as well. But there are other avenues that you can pursue that are not trucking or business or after trucker related. Well, it's after trucking related, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's just a different avenue. And maybe you're an artist that you maybe you're the artist you never thought you were. You know, maybe your book becomes a bestseller. Maybe that book gets turned into a movie. It's the possibilities are absolutely endless. It's absolutely mind blowing. But you know, and maybe like I said, a lot of people and the regular and the matrix, as I like to call it, they can do a lot of this stuff. But it just seems to me you got all this inspiration out here. You're driving around. I think, in my own mind, in my own opinion, I feel like we kind of have a leg up on them. And maybe you don't see it that way, but I definitely do. We get to experience everything. We get to experience what this world kind of has to offer, and you know, see what's missing. See what's missing, and what's missing in you. Are you that? Are you someone that, you know, maybe you just got into trucking and you've been, I know at a time when I just got in and I was part of that corporate structure for so long and being in the military, you know, I never really got to be the guy that I was before that. And that guy was put away in a box. And when I got out here, that guy was instantly, you know, released. And I feel better. I feel much better. I get to just be me. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to be you. You know, come out here, do what you need to do, um, build a new life, but at the same time, you know, show everyone who you really are, and don't be afraid to be who you really are, because that's the best person you can be, and that's what this channel is about. That's what I'm about, and that's what I need you to be about: building yourself to the best you possible, and being yourself. I appreciate you for joining me in the passenger seat. Disillusioned here, and if you like this and you like stuff like this, give me a thumbs up or subscribe, hit the bell, leave some comments below. Maybe some of the hobbies or something that you do on the truck, or if you're not in trucking yet, what would you like? What would you think would be a good idea? I'd actually like to hear what you had to say. So I really appreciate you for joining me. Take care.